Have you ever noticed that big changes in life don't happen with a bang, but quietly, like waking up one morning and not being hugged from behind, going to bed one night and realizing it's been a long time since a really gentle goodnight? No alarm bells ringing to warn you that intimacy is fading. Things gradually disappear. A loving look, a handshake, a quick kiss before dinner, until you can't remember the last time you felt desired. We often say that getting older is about acceptance. Accepting that your body slows down, accepting that your memory fades, accepting that intimacy is like the dancing of your youth, beautiful but gone. But what few people talk about is that the disappearance of sex is not just about losing a physical act. It's about losing a vital part of yourself. It's about no longer feeling loved, touched, connected. And the loss is not loud, not immediately painful, but gradually erodes your health, your emotions, your self-confidence. Maybe you no longer find it important. Maybe you have grown accustomed to the distance. But if you find yourself sleeping less deeply, feeling empty, the days becoming longer and conversations shorter, it may not just be age. It may be the absence of something very human: intimacy. The truth is, sex in old age is not a luxury. It is as natural, as necessary as meals, as necessary as sleep. It doesn't have to be passionate or perfect, just enough to remind you that you are still alive, still lovable, still worth living. And if you haven't thought about it that way, maybe now is the time. When we talk about sex, it is too often reduced to a physical act, a reflex, an activity associated with youth, with impulsive desire. But after many years of working with hundreds of older patients, I have learned that in old age, sex is no longer a matter of the body, but a matter of the heart. Your heart needs more than blood pressure medication, a balanced diet, or regular walks. It needs to feel connected. Affection, being touched, being held, feeling the warmth of someone close to you, produces amazing biological responses. When you maintain intimacy, however light, your heart responds by increasing blood flow, lowering blood pressure, regulating heart rate, and reducing stress hormones. It is like a gentle workout without the treadmill, just a meaningful hug or a hair stroke while lying next to each other. Conversely, as distance begins to grow, the heart weakens not only with age, but also with emotional absence. Loneliness is invisible, but it is present in every cell, increasing the risk of chronic inflammation, causing sleep disorders, and even contributing to heart attacks. These effects do not happen overnight. They seep in like rain on stone, silently, but with enough force to erode. You may have grown accustomed to living without touch. You may think you are fine, but your body remembers. It misses the feeling of being touched with affection, the rhythm of your heartbeats synchronizing in an intimate moment. And your heart, literally and figuratively, yearns to live, to love, to beat for something familiar. Sex in old age is not proof that you are young. It is a whisper to the heart that it still has a reason to continue to be strong. It does not have to be much. It does not have to be intense. It just has to be real. It just has to. The human body has its own memory. It remembers gentle hugs, holding hands on cold days, moments when two people lie quietly next to each other, saying nothing but more than any words. And like any part of us, when it is no longer used, that feeling begins to fade. Not because you no longer want it, but because you have not touched it for a long time. In old age, we are advised to exercise, to walk every morning, to do light exercises to keep our joints flexible. But few people mention that intimacy, a hug, a kiss, a gentle rub on the back, is also a form of exercise. It makes muscle groups work, promotes blood circulation, releases endorphins, natural hormones that help relieve pain and create a feeling of comfort. Your body does not need intensity, it needs regularity and sincere emotions. On the contrary, when closeness disappears, the body begins to remember it as a default. Joints lose flexibility, muscles atrophy, and worse, the desire to be touched begins to recede. You may still be able to walk, still do housework, but inside, a part of you is sinking into oblivion. Not because of time, but because of lack of connection. A woman once told me, "I don't need sex like I did when I was young. I just need someone to put their hand on my shoulder and let me know I'm still here." Those small touches, seemingly small, are the body's way of reminding it that it is alive, that it is still worthy of love. Don't let silence creep into your skin. Let your body be reminded that it has not been forgotten, Just one touch, a light one, is enough to awaken life. We often talk about memory as something that gradually erodes over time, as if forgetfulness were an inevitable part of aging. But what few people realize is that the brain, like the heart or the skin, needs love. It needs emotion. It needs connection. It needs those quick heartbeats, not because of anxiety, but because someone just looked at you as if you were still the most precious thing. In intimate moments, whether they are light or just a longer hug than usual, your brain doesn't stand aside. It responds by releasing special hormones: dopamine, which makes you feel good, oxytocin, which makes you feel connected, and endorphins, which calm anxiety. These chemicals don't just improve your mood, they actually make your brain more flexible, your neural connections sharper, and your ability to remember and process emotions stronger. Many studies show that older adults who maintain an intimate life, even if it is infrequent but emotionally fulfilling, have better memory, fewer signs of depression, and slower cognitive decline than those who live in emotional isolation. But when intimacy is withdrawn, when physical touch is no longer felt and emotions are no longer activated, the brain begins to quiet down. Emotional pathways that were once bright begin to fade. Joy is no longer clear, and memories, instead of being nurtured, begin to dry up. Someone once asked, "At this age, what is there left to love?" The answer is, right now, the brain needs love more than ever. Not the intensity of youth, but the feeling of safety and warmth when you lie next to someone you trust. When a hug is enough to make the whole world quiet down. That is the tonic that no pharmacy sells. The brain does not need you to be young again. It requires you to be real, in connection, in emotion, and in every moment you allow yourself to love and be loved. There are relationships that do not break up with arguments, but with silence, with touches that no longer happen, looks that no longer find each other, evenings spent together but no longer feeling the same. And then, one day, two people who used to be everything to each other suddenly become two shadows living under the same roof, quietly, politely, but strangely. We still think that love is a matter of youth, and when we are old, we only need companionship. But what makes a relationship alive is not the number of years together, but the times we actually touch each other. Intimacy, physically, is not just a physiological need. It is an emotional language. It is the way the heart tells each other, "I still need you. I still find you attractive. We are still something special." When there is no longer intimacy, the connection in the heart gradually becomes cold. Not because the two people no longer love each other, but because both have not nurtured that love for too long. Touching not only brings pleasure, but also reminds each other that we still care, that we still feel seen. An older man once told me, his voice choked up, "My wife and I still live together, still eat at the same table, still watch the same news channel, but I can't remember the last time I kissed her. I thought we were fine, until I realized I had forgotten what it felt like to be loved." Intimacy doesn't have to be grand. It starts with a light touch of the hand when passing a cup of tea, a hug when seeing each other after a day, or simply lying still with your hands on each other. It is a whisper between two hearts, saying, "We are still here, still together." And sometimes, that is enough to revive a relationship. There is something that often gets lost as we age: the feeling of being wanted. Not because others say you are attractive, but because you feel that you are still valuable, still worthy of love, still worthy of gentle touch. And that starts not with anyone else, but with how you treat your body and your emotions. Sex is not just about connecting with others, but also about reconnecting with yourself. When you allow yourself to feel, allow yourself to desire, allow yourself to enjoy, you are telling your body, "I still value you. I still find you worthy." Feeling loved, both by others and by yourself, makes a noticeable difference in your physical and mental health. After each intimate encounter, your body releases a combination of natural hormones like oxytocin and prolactin, which help calm the nervous system, reduce stress, and promote sleep. Many older people struggle with insomnia, chronic fatigue, or an unexplained sense of insecurity, but they don't know that sometimes all it takes is a long hug, a moment of intimacy, to bring them back to balance. And not only that, feeling attractive, still alive, creates a very special kind of confidence. You walk more steadily, you laugh more easily, you look in the mirror and see a person, not just an aging body. Self-love is not selfish. It is how you protect your own health, from the inside. Start by listening to your body, touching it gently with affection, saying nice things about it instead of just seeing wrinkles. Because your body, no matter how many years have passed, is still the place of life, of emotions, and of love that never fades. There is a quiet belief that many people carry with them into their twilight years, that love, intimacy, and intense emotions are a thing of the past, that now the only thing left is stability, familiarity, and a little quiet nostalgia. But the truth is, you are never too old to start over, especially with love. Starting over doesn't mean returning to the wild, adventurous days of your 20s. It simply means opening a door that has been closed for too long. It means looking at your partner or yourself in a new, gentler light. It means allowing yourself to try again, slowly, awkwardly, but sincerely. You don't need a perfect body to be loved. You don't need the same passionate passion. What you need is presence, real, whole, in every touch, every word, every moment spent together. That's the way adults love. A kind of love that is not hasty, not noisy, but sustainable and full. And if you are living alone, that does not mean that love has ended. Falling in love again can start with learning to love yourself. Getting used to the feeling of being hugged, caressed, cared for, whether through self-care, through a forgiving look in the mirror every morning. Because you deserve to be loved not only by others, but also by your own heart. The heart that still beats steadily, quietly reminding you that you are still alive, still feeling, and still capable of connection. No one can define for you what love will look like at this age. You have the right to rewrite your own way of loving, softer, deeper, more genuine. And today, you can start with a whisper, a touch, a smile for someone you have not looked at with loving eyes for a long time. Love does not belong to age. It belongs to the heart brave enough to open up one more time. And if you're reading this, it's probably time to start.